Welcome to part 3 of What If Blaine, sponsored Ash. So Ash just got his first ever gym badge. Ash is ecstatic as Flint would show up as like in canon, everything would go down as the same. But when the trio would get to Mount Moon, they meet someone, Gary Oak. As in this timeline, Ash has never met Gary, and Gary never met Ash, so Gary doesn't know that if Ash is weak or not. But Misty and Ash would offer him a battle, but they decide that one of them should take a battle here first, and then once they get out of Mount Moon they can battle him, because most likely his Pokemon will be healed. So Ash and Misty agree, but Misty will go first because Ash wants to challenge the gym first. So this is going to be a 3-on-3 battle, as Gary will send out a Kadabra, as Misty will send out her Starmie, the evolved one, just to make sure I get that right. Both Pokemon with their psychic abilities are trying their best, as it turns out to be a double knockout. But there's a problem for Misty. She only uses 2 Pokemon for battling, Wartortle and Starmie, as you just seen. Her other 2 Pokemon are Magikarp and Caterpie. So Misty has really no other choice than sending out her Wartortle, as Gary will send out his Wartortle. As the 2 Pokemon will try their best to battle, Misty's Wartortle goes down. But that's when Misty's Caterpie will come out its Pokeball, ready to fight for its trainer. As Misty will kind of back off because she's afraid of buds. But Caterpie would just crawl up to her leg and start rubbing itself against it, making sure Misty feels safe around it, as it turns to Wartortle as it gets hit powerful by a water buzz, but it gets back up as it starts to glow and evolves into a Metapod. As Metapod tries its best to battle Hull, but Misty kind of feels sad, not because she just lost, but because she felt weird about this Pokemon never using it, but her Pokemon loves her, so she decides to spend all her time with it and Magikarp. So they make their way inside of Mount Moon, as the Team Rocket stuff, as the trio, the squad would need to fight off Team Rocket members to protect the Clefairies. As Brock would send out his Onix, Misty would send out her Starmie, as Gary would send out his Wartortle, as Ash would send out his Magby, as Gary doesn't even know that Pokemon. He's never seen it. Even though Ash keeps out his Pokeball, Gary doesn't really pay attention to it, as he's confused, but it looks like a fire type. But that doesn't really need to become his main concern right now. He needs to fight off Team Rocket members, as everything what they're doing is crucial, with every attack needing to be the best one, because every time when one gets knocked out, another couple comes. It's getting to a point where they're all down to the final Pokemon. Magikarp, Zubat, her Goldeen, and Geodude, as all of them try their best, but they fail. And there's only a couple Pokemon left. That's then Hyper Beam gets shot down and knocking out the rest of the Pokemon. As the grunts just say, run, run, run. As that's when they meet Lance. As all the trainers will be rewarded a moonstone, even though most of them wouldn't really need to use it. So Brock and Missy would just give theirs to Gary, but Ash just holds on to his, thinking that he probably will need it in the future. So when the trainers get outside, they first go to a Pokemon Center. As then the 3-on-3 battle can start. As that's when Gary will send out his Nidorino, who male, as Ash will send out his Goldeen. They're doing it on the Nugget Bridge. As it's hard for both Pokemon to hit each other because of the barriers, but Ash decides to use Aquajet to go up in the air and land a powerful horn attack, able to knock out Nidorino. But when Nidorino female comes out, it is easily able to knock out Goldeen. As Ash will send out his Pikachu. Pikachu will try his best to hold on, but her Nidorino female is just too strong for it. So Ash is only down to his last option, Magby, as Nidorino female gets knocked out. But the next Pokemon Gary sends out is his Growlithe. As this is going to be a big problem for Ash. It's because he can't land any powerful attacks against it, as Growlithe knows Bite, take down all of that. And it's getting to a point where it's getting too much for the little baby Pokemon, as it surges with flames and one-hit KOs who's Growlithe, with the battle saying that Ash won, but Magby falls down. Technically Ash did win, but it's getting more to a tie. As Ash, Hush, Misty and Gary would all think of who should challenge the gym first, as they decide Gary, Ash, Misty, but they'll need to all wait until tomorrow, as Misty would just chill outside with a Metapod, as Misty would just be apologising to it, as after apologising it glows and evolves into a Butterfree, as Misty's happy to see her friend dog all fully evolved, as it becomes the next day, as they realise Misty's sisters are not the brightest or kindest of brunts, as with them just saying that you guys can all just battle all three of us at once, or having one Pokemon each, as Ash, Misty and Gary all agree, as they would send out Goldeen, Butterfree and Kadabra, as those sisters would send out what's its name now, Gyarados, Psyduck and Seal, as the battle would start with all of the Pokemon attacking each other, as this is when it's Goldeen's time to shine, able to land off the most hits and able to take a lot of the hits, as it's only really down to Steel and Goldeen, as Goldeen, he would land a powerful horn attack, able to finish it off. As this isn't not where it ends, as all of them would get their gym badge, but when it comes to the garden episode, Misty would actually catch the Bulbasaur, I know it's a bit weird, but it's my story. As Brock would catch a Bellsprout, as Gary wouldn't catch nothing. But not for saying for Ash, as they need to spend the night there. As Ash will look out his window as he sees like a pink Pokemon outside just floating about. When Ash would go up to it, he would make good friends with it, as Ash would decide just to capture it. As Ash thinking, what is this Pokemon? His Pokedex doesn't recognise it, so he decides to find out the next day.